One of the fastest way forward is actually backward. In this video, I'll talk to you about the power of stepping back and why it's the secret to moving forward. And by the end, you'll understand how doing this can lead you to long-term success. Hi, I'm Marisol. Welcome to my channel. I am so happy to have you here. Have you ever felt like you're running on a treadmill, going nowhere? You keep grinding, but instead of making progress, you just feel exhausted, stuck, or even lost? What if I told you that the secret to success isn't always about pushing harder? We're taught that success comes from constant action, but in reality, true growth, breakthroughs, and transformation often happen in moments where we pause, reflect, and reset. I'll use a simple analogy here. Think of those first few times when you were learning how to parallel park. You tried to squeeze into that spot, but no matter what, the angles weren't working for you. So you took a step back, literally, because you knew there was no way you were going to get into that spot from the position you were in. You pulled forward, reset your position, and tried again with a better approach. That small adjustment made all the difference, and suddenly you were perfectly parked. I know stepping back sounds counterintuitive, but trust me, going backwards is not failure. It's actually strategy. It's the power move you didn't even realize you needed. It's like a bow and arrow. The bow represents challenges and the arrow represents goals. Pulling back on that arrow against the bowstrings builds tension, which can be used for forward movement. Why is it so hard for us to take a step back? Why do we resist it? Why does the thought of slowing down make us so uncomfortable? The truth is that many of us are addicted to busyness. We have been conditioned to believe that success comes from nonstop effort. But here's the catch. When you're constantly hustling, you don't give yourself the space to think. You're not creating the mental clarity that you need to make better decisions. All you do is start spinning your wheels, getting exhausted, and feeling like you're not getting anywhere. So what happens when we step back? The first thing that happens is fear. Fear of losing momentum, fear of not hustling enough, or even fear of what others might think. We're afraid that stepping back will look like we're giving up or being lazy. We're afraid that others might see us as weak or less committed. But the truth is that stepping back doesn't mean you're quitting. It's actually a way to strategically reset. When you step back, you're giving yourself the best chance to move forward with more strength, energy, and clarity. In the same way that an athlete takes breaks between sets to recover and perform better, taking a step back in your life or career can be the reset that you need to perform at your highest level. Taking a break doesn't make you less ambitious. It makes you strategic. I get it. I've been there. I used to think that slowing down meant falling behind. that taking a break meant that I wasn't working hard enough. But let me tell you, it's that mindset that actually keeps us stuck. Think about this. If a car is heading in the wrong direction, is stepping on the gas pedal the smartest move? No. The smartest move would be for you to slow down, check your map, your GPS, adjust your route, and then move forward, right? That's exactly what stepping back does. It helps us to course correct before we waste more energy going the wrong way. We've all heard of Martha Stewart, how she built a successful brand and then went to prison for 5 months, right? Many of us thought that her career was over, but she used that time wisely. She used that time to reflect, strategize, and plan her comeback, and ultimately proved that setbacks can actually be setups for even greater success. Take Steve Jobs, who was fired from Apple, the company he co founded. Instead of giving up, he took a step back. He founded a couple of companies. He gained new skills and perspectives. And years later, Apple brought him back and he led the company to unprecedented success. And I think we can all agree with that, right? A more personal example I can give you is when my husband lost his job. And instead of looking for another one, he went back to school full time. And while he was in school, not looking for a job, it felt as if he was going backwards. 4 years to be exact, which is how long it took him to complete his studies. But he was actually preparing to speed past himself. In other words, him number one, continuing in the workforce. Him number two, pausing work and going back to school. Eventually, 4 years later, he would be way ahead of him number one in more ways than one. He got into a position that he loves, makes more money, is more stable, and has great benefits. But most importantly, he loves. I made a video of him and I going back to school simultaneously. And of course, he was the star because he got into nursing school at 55 and graduated at 59. So if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend it because it's very inspirational. And you can find it right up here. Now, I have to give you this last example because I think it's pretty funny. Some years ago, my husband and I went canoeing down here in Miami, and our canoe got stuck in the mangroves. So as we're trying to get ourselves unstuck from where our canoe was at, I was rowing one way and my husband was rowing the opposite way. So what do you think happens when two paddles in any watercraft is being rowed in opposite directions? Exactly. Nothing happened. We weren't moving because the opposing forces wasn't letting it go this way or that way. So at this point, I'm just freaking out. I'm freaking out. I am thinking nightfall, we're not going to be found, alligators, you name it. I was thinking it. I mean, I thought we were like in the middle of nowhere because in a way we were. So I was thinking Jaws, hurricanes, everything. So all of a sudden, I yelled at him and I said, "Stop. Let me try it and look." I'm trying to prove to him he's going in the wrong direction. So he allowed me to try it. And when he saw that we were moving, then he started helping me. And we got out. No thanks to him, by the way. So needless to say, I have never let him live it down because we could you not see we're going in the wrong direction? So this is the perfect example of when you are working hard but in the wrong direction, like literally in the wrong direction. Now, the decision to talk about this topic came from my own experience while working on my YouTube channel. I started Daydreamologist on a whim. Therefore, I never really had the chance to formulate a plan. So now, as expected, I find myself in a disorderly state, totally overwhelmed. So many times in the little time that I've had this channel, I have felt as if I'm running in place, and it's not a fun feeling. So I've decided to change up my approach. Currently, I am reversing to the point where I should have started by. I'm doing this so that I can get a better view of my project. I can analyze it. I can create a roadmap outlining my specific tasks, actions, and milestones needed for it. At first, I was scared to pause because my followers and YouTube are expecting content from me 2 to 3 times a week as I was doing before. But I have to do this because I need to start afresh. I need to feel like I'm actually onto something. There's a saying in Spanish that goes like this: Vísteme despacio que estoy apurado. Dress me up slowly because I'm in a hurry. In other words, if you dress me up too quickly, you might, I don't know, put my shirt as my underwear and my socks as my mittens, and then we would have to take it all off and start all over again. So it's better to do it slowly, strategically, and do it right the first time than to have to start all over again. It might seem like you're going slower and that it's taking longer, but it might be quicker than if you just hurry up and do it wrong. Now that we know why stepping back is important, let's talk about how to do it, and more importantly, when to do it. So how do you know when it's time to step back? There are a few telltale signs that it's time to pause and reevaluate. And if you ignore these signs, you risk burning out or staying stuck longer than you need to. The first one, feeling exhausted or burned out. If you're feeling mentally and physically drained, it's your body and mind telling you that you need a break. Burnout happens when we don't listen to these signals and just push through. But rest and recovery, they're not luxuries. They're vital for sustained success. The second one, stagnation in progress. Another sign is stagnation. If you're working harder, but your results are not changing, it's time to step back and reflect on what's working and what's not. You need to ask yourself, am I putting my energy into the right things? The third one, repeating the same mistakes. We've all been there. It's happened to all of us. If you keep on making the same mistakes, it's often because you're too close to the situation. So taking a step back gives you the clarity to see patterns adjust your approach, and finally break free from the cycle. When you recognize these signs, here's how to step back the right way so that you can actually move forward stronger. Number one, embrace the pause. Give yourself permission to rest. Take a break, read a book, go for a walk, or simply step away from the pressure. Allow yourself to decompress. Sometimes you need this. Number two, reflect and reevaluate. Use the time to reflect on your goals. Ask yourself, what's working? What's not? What do I want? What are my priorities? What direction should I be heading in? Where do I actually want to go? Sometimes stepping back gives you a chance to adjust your trajectory. Number three, seek input. Don't be afraid to reach out to a mentor, coach, or even a trusted friend. You can learn from others. Sometimes an outside perspective can help you see things that you might have missed. Having fresh eyes can bring new insights. Number four, learn something new. If you're feeling stagnant, consider learning a new skill or reading a book. Expanding your knowledge gives you new insights that can help you see the situation differently. Number five, reset your priorities. Are you focused on the right things? Sometimes we get so caught up in the process that we lose sight of why we started in the first place. Use this time to realign your priorities and focus on what truly matters to you. Number six, trust the process. Understand that growth takes time, and patience is part of the progress. Trust that this pause is necessary for you to be able to leap forward with clarity and purpose. Sometimes resting, reevaluating, and even failing is what sets you up for your greatest comeback. And the best things happen when you give yourself space to evolve. So if you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, lost, or unsure, maybe it's time to stop forcing forward movement and start embracing the power of strategic stepping back. I promise you, this is not a sign of weakness. This is a sign of wisdom. Let me ask you, have you ever taken a step back in life and later realized it was the best thing you ever did? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear it. And if you found this video valuable, hit that like button. Share this with someone who needs to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe for more mindset shifts and inspiration. See you in the next video. Bye. Many of us are convicted. What? What's the word? That success with more strength, energy, and clarity. Mother of the to qué bueno. Nothing, exactly nothing.